Everyone thinks Conquest vs Thanos would be an insane battle, but it's not even close. And I'm gonna break down every brutal reason why, starting with where they come from, because origins shape everything. Conquest is a Viltrumite, an alien race evolved around extreme selective pressure. He is the result of an empire built on domination and war, an oppressive world that demands conquest or extinction. From the moment he could walk, Conquest was taught that strength defined worth. Weakness was stamped out early. He matured into the perfect soldier, ruthless, efficient, utterly without remorse. Viltrumites are functionally gods, near invulnerable, faster than light, with strength that could shatter planets, and they can fly through stars without breaking a sweat. But even among such a species, Conquest is different. He's not just another soldier in the Viltrumite Empire. He's the exterminator, the Ancient One. He was the mentor of his former protege, the Great Nolan, otherwise known as Omni-Man. A living reminder that even among monsters, some are too cruel to keep around. Scarred, one-eyed, and far older than Omni-Man, Conquest is the battle-hardened living memorial of the Empire's darkest days. Unlike many of his peers who act under the pretense of duty or ideological loyalty, he does not hide behind any cause. While he is loyal to the Empire in function, he views the Viltrumite mission as nothing more than an excuse to do what he truly loves, which is fighting, killing, and causing pain. Victory is not his goal, and what he seeks is the sheer thrill of resistance, the satisfaction of breaking strong opponents, and the pleasure of watching others suffer. During a centuries-long campaign to bring the galaxy under Viltrum control, Conquest carved out a name synonymous with devastation. He razed cities with a flick of a wrist, disintegrated armies with casual ease, and pursued fleeing populations across star systems. He derived genuine satisfaction from acts of violence, the fear in enemy eyes, the ragged breath of soldiers crushed beneath his boots. Weakness was stamped out early. He matured into the perfect soldier, ruthless, efficient, utterly without remorse. He was shown to have been one of the very few who actively participated in and survived the Great Purge. Viltrum isolated him not because he failed, but because he enjoyed it too much. He doesn't fight for the Empire. He doesn't fight for glory. He fights because it's all he's ever known. Every inch of his body is marked by centuries of war, of planets razed and civilizations erased. He's strength without mercy, fury without limits, the equivalent of a warhead with a pulse. When the Empire is dying and they need a problem solved permanently, they send Conquest. He serves as the Viltrumites' fundamental nuclear option, deployed only when maximum force and absolute ruthlessness are considered necessary. And when he shows up on Earth, he doesn't negotiate. He doesn't pause. He moves with a single-minded purpose: to break the resistance so thoroughly it never rises again. He flies straight into battle, ripping through heroes like tissue. Invincible, beaten within inches of death.
Killing him?
Adam Eve, brutally torn apart. He doesn't even bat an eyelid to almost ripping Oliver, a literal child, into two. He is a ruthless and battle-tested veteran with unmatched strength and skill. Every fight is a playground to him, and he treats his opponents as nothing more than toys to be broken or manipulated. Conquest thrives on chaos, and he enjoys mocking his enemies in the middle of battle. He is both talkative and cruel, and often peppers his taunts with sarcasm and twisted encouragement. He torments others emotionally in order to make fights more exciting, urging them to fight harder by threatening those they care about. During his brutal confrontation with Invincible, Conquest insulted him constantly, pushing him to become more violent. He even pretended to thank him after seemingly killing Adam Eve, as it meant he could finally fight without holding back.
I want to thank you, Mark. Really.
He laughed at Invincible's grief, even while being beaten to death, grinning through shattered teeth and throwing headbutts until his skull was destroyed. His dry, sarcastic sense of humor hardly ever fades, and he is known to joke about even his own suffering. He once simply remarked that he takes the good with the bad after being torn apart in battle. Conquest is cruel beyond measure, slaughtering the innocent not out of duty, but simply to provoke more fury in his opponents. He acknowledges courage when he sees it, and he even praises Invincible's bravery, along with the efforts of Oliver and Adam Eve. He can grow angered when his opponents match and manage to outwit him in combat. In the end, though, he recognizes when he is beaten and accepts it without protest. Beneath his violent exterior lies something colder and more bitter. In a rare moment of sincerity, Conquest admits that he has grown tired of being a weapon used over and over again. His life of inflicting death and destruction has left him emotionally distant, even among his own people. He says that others fear him and that he does not have a true name, only a function and a stark title. Though he covers this with sarcasm and laughter after, his words suggest isolation, exhaustion, and deep resentment over what he has become. But it is masked to perfection, and all that is left is the exterminator in him. He doesn't want to dominate, he wants to disable, to break, to destroy. He's not evil because of ideology, he's evil because he likes it. Conquest is the embodiment of violence, destruction, and sadistic pleasure. Now, let's turn to Thanos. Thanos was born on Titan, one of Saturn's moons, as a frost giant-like anomaly among the Eternals of Titan. As a child, he was grotesquely deformed, his skin purplish and his body massive and hulking, earning the fear of his peers even before his intellect revealed itself. But the alien appearance held a mind that would become one of the most coldly rational and obsessive in the universe. Feared for his strength, but hated for his mind. Unlike Conquest, Thanos wasn't forged in war. He was born into intellect. Cold, calculating, obsessive. He was fascinated with entropy and decay. From his earliest days, he poured himself over the ancient Titan archives, devouring knowledge about cosmic balance, thermodynamics, the cycle of life and death, and the power of death. He studied the fundamental laws of the universe and then decided they were wrong. His grand solution? He could fix them. Thanos' objective was to bring stability to the universe by wiping out half of all life at every level, no matter what it took him and what the cost was. As he believed, his massive population would inevitably use up the universe's entire supply of resources and perish. To complete this goal, Thanos set about hunting down all the Infinity Stones, as the combined force of the stones would grant sufficient power.
And when we faced extinction, I offered a solution.
Genocide.
At random, dispassionate, fair to rich and poor alike. They called me a madman. And what I predicted came to pass. With all 6 stones, I could simply snap my fingers. They would all cease to exist. I call that mercy.
Thanos, after a series of failed alliances, made the decision to seek and procure the stones himself. He began by forcing Atri to create the Infinity Gauntlet for him so that he would have been able to wield the power of the stones safely. Thanos then engaged in a ferocious crusade in order to obtain the Infinity Stones. During his mission, both Thanos and his Black Order invaded multiple planets and slaughtered thousands to gain the stones, including Loki and the Asgardians. This quest even forced Thanos to sacrifice his beloved Gamora in order to take the Soul Stone. Thanos soon found himself challenged by the alliances of the entire universe's greatest heroes, which included the Avengers and Guardians of the Galaxy. However, despite facing off against the powerfully combined opposition and the wrath of Thor, Thanos still ultimately triumphed as he completed the Infinity Gauntlet, using it to finally complete his goal through the snap, which resulted in half of all life in the universe being wiped out with a mere snap of his fingers. But Thanos is not just a genius, and don't be fooled by his purple color. He is a nihilist who worships death as a lover, a philosopher who sees extinction as mercy. He doesn't just want to kill, he wants to make killing mean something. When Thanos wipes out half of existence, he doesn't grin, he carries it with solemnity, viewing the act not as celebration, but as sacrifice. He meditates on the weight of his decision, whispers, perfectly balanced, as all things should be, and watches sunsets, convinced that he has brought cosmic peace. His victory seemed absolute. After the snap and Infinity War, he retires to a lonely planet, perched among the stars, watching life's remnants flicker, convinced his mission is complete. That is, until heroes rally in Endgame, steal the stones across time, and use them to reverse his action. This obviously prompted him to hunt those who dare defy him, culminating in tens of thousands of alternate Thanos armies stepping through the quantum portal. Yet, even in the final confrontation, he meets the wrath of the Avengers with stoic efficiency. Though ultimately Stark defeats him with another snap, his philosophy and myth endure. In the comics, he resurfaces repeatedly. And there, this philosophical obsession is intrinsic. He trains relentlessly, pursuing mastery of telekinesis, energy manipulation, immortality, cosmic awareness, and martial skill, preparing himself as both scientist and warrior. He studied the cosmos, mastering technology and mysticism, traveling across the galaxy to gather artifacts and allies, while his growing ideology isolated him from Titan's other Eternals, who branded him insane and ultimately exiled him. In the MCU, his path is somewhat streamlined yet thematically identical. His feats stretch beyond conventional comparison. He has held the Infinity Gauntlet in his hands and held enough power to snap his fingers. What's more impressive is that he lived to tell the tale. But it doesn't stop there. He fought the Hulk to a bloody standstill on Sakaar, battered Silver Surfer, and at his peak, even outmaneuvered Mephisto. He saves his cosmic soul and manipulates one of Marvel's most metaphysically powerful beings. He goes against even gods like Thor and Odin, and wins. He triumphs over the elders of the universe and later plots to seize the Infinity Gauntlet from the Celestials, taking on cosmic superpowers with planning and raw might. When he has the Infinity Gauntlet, he's omnipotent. He snapped away 50% of all life, instantly, universally, with no resistance. He's not just strong, he's transcendent. Throughout all depictions, his origin is unified, born malformed and brilliant, rejected by his own people. He turns that rejection into purpose, believing the universe itself to be flawed. And only he, with his mind and madness, has the clarity to heal it. He is not fueled by hate or conquest, but by obsession. The belief that extinction can deliver salvation, the suffering can be ended with death, that balance is worth any price. His strength is physical, but his true power lies in his intellect over empathy, of logic over love. He is the embodiment of what happens when a twisted mind meets good intention.
Thought by eliminating half of life, the other half would thrive. But you've shown me that's impossible. And as long as there are those that remember what was, there will always be those that are unable to accept what can be.
So let's break it down. In mind and strategy, there simply is no competition. Conquest is brutality personified, a tactician only in the most instinctual way. He knows how to kill, break, and rip apart armies. He's experienced, yeah, but not strategic. He doesn't lay traps. He doesn't plan long term. He charges in, confident that force is always enough. He wins because others can't match his savagery. Thanos is a chess master playing in 12 dimensions. He doesn't just win fights, he ends wars before they begin. He manipulates enemies, dismantles empires, corrupts heroes, and exploits gods. He planned the destruction of his homeworld before he could legally vote. He's outsmarted the cosmic hierarchy more than once. He has deceived death itself. In Infinity, he takes on the Avengers and fleets of armies all at once and manipulates them into fighting each other. The verdict? Thanos wins decisively. Moving on to strength and durability, Conquest has raw strength. He flies through buildings, rips people apart, punches holes through mountains, and laughs while doing it. He can go toe-to-toe with Invincible and Omni-Man at the same time and still dominate. His durability is extreme. You have to detonate a moon on him to slow him down. Even then, he keeps going. Thanos, on the other hand, he has cosmic strength. He has stood against Thor with the power gem and won. He's taken hits from the Hulk like they were mosquito bites. He survived point-blank blasts from Black Bolt and kept moving. He's been stabbed through the chest by Odin's spear and grinned. He tanks reality warping energy without flinching. Conquest doesn't mind a punch from a Viltrumite. Thanos takes a punch from Eternity and laughs. But what happens when we look at speed? Thanos rarely ever moves, but even here, Conquest would have a disadvantage. Conquest has faster than light travel, reflexes that can match anyone in the Invincible universe, and the ability to react and kill mid-flight before his enemies can blink. All of this may be true, but this would pale in comparisons to Thanos. Thanos doesn't often showcase speed, but that's because he doesn't need to. He has battled Silver Surfer, who moves at faster than light speeds, and kept up. He's outmaneuvered Beta Ray Bill and Thor, who can cross galaxies in seconds. People think Thanos is slow because he chooses to walk, not because he has to. He wins this too just because of his cosmic scale feats. He has, after all, been a formidable villain to many heroes and gods alike. Conquest has raw physicality. He's not a power user, no energy projection, no mind attacks, no manipulation of space-time. He is the hammer and the battlefield is the nail. But Thanos, even without the gauntlet, has got energy projection that can rival with Celestials. But that isn't the end of his arsenal. He has telepathy resistance so high that Professor X barely scratches him, matter manipulation when he is empowered by cosmic artifacts, technology from black hole bombs to reality-sealing force fields, access to magic, science, and tech from across the universe. Conquest would fall short just because he would believe his body is enough to win. If you want to win a fist fight, Conquest might make it brutal, but if you want to win a war, Thanos brings everything. It gives him a massive advantage. Now we come to willpower and mentality. Conquest is relentless. He doesn't break, he doesn't yield. The more pain he takes, the more brutal he becomes. He's an addict to violence, and even dying in battle would be worth it to him. But Thanos, he's not just relentless, he's inevitable. His will is a cosmic constant. He stood alone against the Avengers, the X-Men, the Celestials, and reality itself, and still move forward. He doesn't enjoy pain, he endures it because it's necessary, because the universe needs him to be what it cannot, uncompromising. Conquest may love battle, but the foundational beliefs come from being savage. But Thanos doesn't love war. In fact, he may even avoid it if need be. He fights because he deems it necessary. necessary. But what if Thanos is stripped away of all of his extra powers? Here we come to their combat styles. Conquest is savage in his style, brutal hand to hand. He fights with teeth bared, fist flying, unhinged, and unrelenting. He's like Battle Beast dialed to 11, tearing arms off mid-punch, fighting dirty, and going straight for the kill. Thanos is precise. He's trained in every known form of combat across the galaxy. He's fought gods, demons, immortals. He uses strength as a tool, not a crutch. When he fights, it's to end you, not just to beat you. Conquest will brawl until his fists are bone. Thanos will shatter your spine in 2 moves. Let's imagine their fight in 2 parts. First, let's say Thanos wasn't just himself. Let's say he had everything. Let's say he wielded the Infinity Gauntlet. The Infinity Gauntlet isn't a power boost. It's not a suit. It's not a weapon. It's a cosmic override. Each stone controls a fundamental aspect of existence.
6 elemental crystals hurtling across the virgin universe. These Infinity Stones each control an essential aspect of existence.
Space, reality, power, soul, mind, and time.
The Power Stone, which has infinite strength, enough to shatter galaxies. The Time Stone, which can control, reverse, or erase time itself. The Space Stone, which allows its user to be everywhere and anywhere all at once. The Mind Stone, which can control, erase, or rewrite sentient thought. The Reality Stone, which can alter the laws of physics, logic, and nature. And finally, the Soul Stone, which dominates life and death. With all 6, Thanos becomes a god, not figuratively, not symbolically, literally. Let's be generous. Let's imagine Conquest survives the first 5 seconds. Which he wouldn't. But for the sake of argument, let's imagine he dodges a beam of cosmic power that annihilates an entire star system. Let's say he closes the distance, grabs Thanos by the throat, and roars like he's about to land the killing blow. Thanos is patient. Conquest cannot phase him. He waits for the right time. Then Thanos stops him. Conquest freezes mid-roar. Thanos rewinds the fight and watches it again. He splits Conquest into infinite versions across space, collapsing them back into a broken heap. He alters reality, turning Conquest's own Viltrumite physiology into glass. Or he simply snaps and deletes Conquest from the multiverse. There is nothing Conquest can do. He doesn't have speed to outrun omnipresence. He doesn't have strength to match infinite force. He doesn't have the will to resist mental domination, and he certainly doesn't have dimensional resistance to tank a universal rewrite. Conquest doesn't lose. He ceases to exist. At the end of the day, Conquest was made to test worlds. Thanos, when he is with the gauntlet, rebuilds them. He doesn't fight Conquest, he edits him. And even if Conquest survives by some impossible miracle, Thanos could trap him in a time loop like he did to Dormammu. He would make Conquest relive his own death over and over again. Not for days, not for centuries, forever. Because the Infinity Gauntlet doesn't make Thanos unbeatable. It makes him unchallenged. There's no clash, no back and forth, no war, just a thought and then silence. But okay, let's not make Thanos so overpowered. Let's go back and strip Thanos of his Infinity Gauntlet. It's just a dead world cracked by time. No civilians, no armies, no tech, just them. Conquest lands first, a crimson streak through the sky. He cracks the planet beneath his boots. His eyes burn with fury, his smile already forming. He doesn't speak, he launches. Thanos stands still, calculated. The first punch from Conquest breaks the ground beneath them. Thanos slides back, wiping blood from his lip. He nods, then he responds. 1 punch, 2, a grapple. A blast of cosmic energy that melts the atmosphere. Conquest shrugs it off. They collide mid-air, fists hitting like small supernovas. They trade blows across continents. Mountains fall, oceans evaporate. Conquest is faster, angrier, more savage. But Thanos is smarter, stronger, and more prepared. He shifts his stance, traps Conquest's arm, shatters his elbow, drives a knee into his ribs, follows with an energy burst to the face, a knee to the throat, then silence. Thanos raises one hand, glowing with pure energy, a pulse, not from tech, but from him. The energy of dying stars compressed into a single beam. It hits Conquest point blank. The Viltrumite screams, muscles tearing, armor incinerated. Then he drops, burning alive, shaking. Still alive, but only barely. Thanos kneels beside him. He makes sure his opponent is down. Then he turns and walks away. No gloating, no fear, just the quiet certainty of a god who's already seen the outcome. Conquest is destruction, but Thanos is destiny, and destiny always wins.
I am inevitable.
If you liked this video, check out my full breakdown of why Battle Beast vs Superman isn't even close.